This podcast is a member of the Place to Be Nation family. Visit us at placetobenation.com, the only place to be in your pop culture world.
My countrymen and my friends, I had hoped against hope that some miracle would prevent a devastating war and bring to an end the invasion.
This most serious threat World Wrestling Federation has ever known.
The long-term future of sports entertainment could change forever.
A succession of actual wars have shaken the entire world and have threatened to bring on the gigantic conflict, which is today, unhappily, a fact.
No force of nature and no act of God could stop this invasion from happening.
I have said not once but many times that I have seen war and that I hate war.
This is our last chance.
There's no going back. There is no tomorrow. They want to finish us off.
Feel this moment for the rest of your life.
This war is only half over, and it could damn well be lost.
We're laying it all on the line.
Nothing can stop the WCW and ECW.
Austin is going to lead us into invasion.
Lift up your heart. All will come right.
We will kick WCW and ECW's.
No WWF superstar is going to deny us from our destiny.
Dad, the sports entertainment.
I have seen war, and I hate war.
Place to Be Nation. Welcome back to another episode of Nation Invasion. I am the captain of your invasion voyage here, James Gruenberg, and I always have with me a first mate. But before I introduce to her, this ship has gone off course. Like the waves of the sea have taken this voyage off of course. But not only is the ship off course, but this WCW invasion of WWE has gone off course in 2001 too. Since the last episode I had with Steve Riddle was the Tacoma, Washington Buff Bagwell versus Booker T match, and a lot of you remember how that went. But before we get into tonight's episode and the chaos of the WCW invasion on Nation Invasion, I'd like to introduce to you, she's a very good friend of mine. I call her the queen of the place to be. She is the host of the Jenny position that got acquired by the North-South connection, just like WCW got acquired by the WWF. That is Miss Jennifer Smith. Jenny, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Gruney. Thank you for that intro. That was awesome. Who does that make me then?
That makes you Francine.
Francine? Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yep, yeah. You're the queen of the place to be,
I feel like this is sort of a very interesting time frame that you're looking at here, because I hear a lot of people who really hate it and some people who really love it. So the episodes that we watched, I feel like might be a little bit infamous. And I'm super excited that I get to talk about it with you, because I was losing my mind watching these today.
Oh yeah, I wanted to do this episode with you because it's got like a little bit of ECW references in it, and since we both do ECW podcasts,
Yes.
why not just go with it, So Jenny, like I always ask everyone else, have you ever seen this before? Like the network, were you an avid wrestling fan? How did you become a wrestling fan?
No, actually, I wasn't. I was a little bit of a fan, like during the Attitude Era. So, but by the time, I was a senior or so, I was kind of out of it already, and I didn't pick it up until almost 6 years ago. Just kind of got introduced to it randomly, and my first show that I fell in love with was Uncensored 95. So that tells you, I guess, what kind of wrestling fan I am. But I kind of fell in love with it. And at the same time, I was falling in love with podcasting, doing like kind of book movie show reviews with my friend Miranda. We had a show called Geek and Sassy. So that sort of came about the same time my podcasting stuff came about. So then the more I got into wrestling, the more I wanted to do wrestling podcasts. And I was lucky enough to have, our friends here at the Place to Be and our friends at North South Connection who let me do cool wrestling podcasts, including this one.
Yeah. I'm grateful too, since they let me let me host 2 shows for the Place to Be Nation feed, let alone one. So Jenny, we're in like a very peculiar time frame in 2001 because the Monday Night Wars are over. WCW is out of business, from like a business standpoint, this like just like a storyline basically of like, oh, well, WCW's back in business. Like, yeah, they're really not in business. Vince still owns it, but we're going to go with the storyline here. Stone Cold is a heel. He sided with Mr. McMahon at WrestleMania 17. But what do you do with the WCW guys who are looking to come over and start fresh in the WWE here? And this is what we got, basically. So we didn't get Goldberg, Hulk Hogan, the NWO, but we got DDP and Booker T, Buff Bagwell, but we're going to talk more about Buff. We basically got the WCW power plant, basically. No Jeff Jarrett, no Shane Douglas did not come back. So we got like the power plant and a couple of mid to main eventer cards too, but no NWO, nothing like that, and no Sting either. So what we did get is basically, just what we could, and they tried their best. It went for good for about, I would say like a month and a half until like the end of SummerSlam. And then it was like, oh, are we still going with this? Yeah, we are. And it just became all about the McMahons and Stone Cold Steve Austin, the WWF. And it's like, well, what happened to the WCW guys? And who really cares about them, But this was a very pivotal point of the invasion for 2 reasons. And this one I'm going to get into. So I did research about this because this has been a topic that has been discussed by a lot of people. Before we get into tonight's Raw in Atlanta, Georgia, Buff Bagwell is let go from the WWE after his match with Booker T in the Tacoma, Washington Dome in Tacoma. So I put the pieces together, basically. He has the match with Booker T, and the crowd just hated it. They were like, this match sucks. Fans were basically going, they were like watching 2 other fans fight in the crowd just to take them away from this match. And this match was terrible, according to the people. They bring all the WCW guys to training in the WWF like training rings, and apparently Buff Bagwell was like causing a big commotion during one of their training sessions, and he got into a fight with Shane Helms, who we would know as the Hurricane, and so out of all of that too, Vince McMahon was not happy with Arn Anderson and Scott Hudson on commentary, but how can you be mad when it's like you don't have Tony Schiavone or anybody, like you take what you can get, but Scott Hudson and Arn Anderson on commentary was just like bad to Vince. So Buff Bagwell got into a fight with Shane Helms, and then he comes to the arena here, and Jim Ross and Vince McMahon together, they told Buff Bagwell to that he was being released today. So after 1 week of being on WWF television, Buff Bagwell is like, do you have any thoughts on that, Jenny, what I just said?
Any thoughts on Buff Bagwell being an idiot? Sure.
Yeah.
He's a fucking idiot. Did you care about Buff Bagwell at this time?
I thought of it enough to like think that he might he like fans would care to be like, oh well, we have a WCW main player, like
Mm,
DDP, Booker T, and Buff Bagwell at the time were getting some stop and start pushes. DDP was gone in the early 2001. Buff was there until the end, so I thought that Buff would get like a good push of being a locker, like an alliance WCW
mm.
leader here, or like a general basically for this invasion. But Buff let his ego get in the way, and so he is basically gone here. He did one appearance on a Tacoma Raw and SmackDown, and he was just let go. He still blames Jim Ross for it, and I can get it too, but Jim Ross just doing his job. Do you have
Right.
anything about
He worked himself into a shoot right then. He fucked
yeah,
himself. He played himself for sure.
yeah. So he was always like blaming Jim Ross, that like, oh,
Mm.
got him fired. It's like, no, JR just had to do what Vince told him to do. But then, do you have any comment about Scott Hudson and Arn Anderson doing commentary on the Raw? Because what they did was they tried to have WCW matches, and they're like,
Mhm.
"Oh, let's bring in WCW commentators and let's make this a whole WCW show." But
Yeah.
apparently, Vince McMahon did
I
not
think
like Scott Hudson.
Scott, nobody wants to hear Scott Hudson. And as much as I love Arn and as much as I think he's really good on mic per se in a promo capacity, I don't think that commentary is one of Arn's strengths. So yeah, that team was doomed to failure anyway.
Yep. So without further ado, Jane, let's do our show here. Like I said, this is Monday Night Raw,
Hmm.
July 9th, 2001. We are at the Phillips Arena in Atlanta, Georgia. We get a recap of the WCW. I call them the Renegades because, they're not called the Alliance yet or anything. So they're just WCW Renegades. They go
Hmm.
AWOL and they turn on Booker T and Shane McMahon led by DDP. So that just
Hmm.
tells you, like, what is going on. Like, why are the WCW guys, like, defying their own boss and, like, the leader of the WCW Renegades here. So they all like the superstars like Canyon, Hugh Morris, Chavo Guerrero, Lance Storm,
The
um,
superstars.
Seth Colombo, Sean O'Hare, Mark Jindrak, and Canyon. They all decide to go AWOL against Booker T, and they're being led by like
Hmm.
DDP basically. So it looks like it's like Shane McMahon and Booker versus DDP and the rest of the WCW here. But we open up with the recap of that. Like, it's so weird. Like, why
Hmm.
are they doing this?
That seems like too many factions, man. It's like it's too many. Too many things are happening. You gotta have good guys and bad guys. It's too complicated.
Yeah, it's like, are we just trying to be is Shane McMahon a good guy or is he a bad guy? That's what they're trying to
Hmm.
say here. And then what is the real reason for the WCW wrestlers here coming into the WWF? Are they just trying to beat up WWF and invade, or are they like, no, we want a fair shot too? And Shane's like, oh, we got to play fair, but they don't want to play fair anymore.
Yeah, fuck
That's
that.
basically, yeah, that's basically it. So now we have, we open up with Shane McMahon versus Diamond Dallas Page in a street fight. So Shane comes out, and then all of a sudden, The Undertaker comes out. And if you've been
Hmm.
paying attention at this time, Undertaker has a vendetta with DDP because DDP has been stalking Undertaker's wife, Sarah. So, yeah.
That's not creepy at all, is it?
Taker. No, I guess not. Well, I mean, it is, like, it depends
Hmm.
on, like, how close you get into the home. And DDP was
Oh, is
in,
that right?
yeah, I guess so. DDP was in Sarah's home. I feel like I guess it's not okay to look through the windows.
Right, yeah. That seems a little
Yeah,
fucked
yeah.
up.
No, yeah, yeah. But Taker tells Shane DDP is his, and Shane actually backs off and lets Undertaker take his place. A brawl ensues by both men. Taker attempts a choke slam on DDP, but surprised, Shane McMahon hits Undertaker with a kendo stick. Then Taker brawls with Shane, but then DDP hits Taker with a chair. And then it turns to a double team beatdown. So Shane McMahon pulled a swerve, bro. And now he and DDP are back on the same page with all the WCW superstars. Nothing happened. So it's just a swerve. So DDP could get one over on The Undertaker again. Sarah hits Shane with a kendo stick, and she gets like a great shot in. But then Paige gives Sarah a diamond cutter.
Yeah.
So poor Sarah, getting a diamond cutter. And then The Undertaker is just fuming because, he's had enough of DDP.
I really liked all of this. Like, I thought it was really good. I'm such a mark for Shane, especially at this age. But I'm a Shane fan, and Taker is fun right here too. DDP is fun. Like, I just really like everybody in this, and it's a weird angle. A stupid swerve, of course. They're bullshitting because that's all Shane ever does is bullshits. Of course, it was a setup. But they make Taker look dumb here, and poor Sarah got to eat that cutter. She took it like a champ. So, good on her. And she did the whole stretcher job. So, I just thought that was like super fun way to open the show.
Yeah, it was. And, it's going to get a little bit even more swerved.
Yep.
As the night continues. So then, Paige rides off with The Undertaker's motorcycle. And then Sarah,
shit. That was so funny. He couldn't even barely even get that thing to turn on, much less drive the fucking thing. I'm surprised he didn't wreck.
He's not the only one either. Hogan had a problem with it too.
Yeah,
one time. It stalled on him. Yep.
It reminded me of Hogan too.
Everybody has a problem with Undertaker's motorcycle. It's like, dude, it's so easy. Well, you figure it out then. Sarah and Taker go to the hospital. Yep.
Yeah, them getting in the ambulance was pretty good.
Yep. So then now we have okay. Yep. Oh yeah. So now we have we're going right into another matchup here. We have a WWF Tag Team Title match. It's the Dudley Boys versus the APA. And Jenny, these guys always go stiff with each other. Like, I feel like they just enjoy they enjoy being the crap out of each other.
Yeah, they're always pounding something.
Yep.
Each other. They're always pounding each other.
Oh yeah, yep. APA throw Devon to the outside. Bubba goes to work on Farouk. Double shoulder tackle by APA. A big boot to Bubba. Dudley's double team on Bradshaw. Fallaway slam to Devon. The reverse 3D to Bradshaw. A power bomb to Bubba Ray. Spinebuster to Devon. Bubba accidentally hits Devon. The what's up bomb to Farouk. And then getting his revenge here, Spike Dudley comes in and he hits Bubba Ray with a crutch as he was going to get a table. And then Devon gets distracted, and then a clothesline from hell to Devon by Bradshaw. And the APA win, and they are your new tag team champions. For this match, Denny, I went 2.25. I really liked it here. It was fun, again, like we said, Dudley's and the APA always love brawling with each other.
I think you were right when you said they like it stiff, because I felt all the moves that you said, were stiff power moves, and it was short, not too long. They didn't look gassed or anything. They looked really good, and it was pretty standard as far as that goes. The Dudley's a crowd favorite, and the crowd is extremely hot for this match and the show throughout the night, really. And they get a great show, so I'm glad that they're a good crowd. And I guess I was surprised by the title change? What did you think about that? I did the 2 stars.
I kind of thought it was interesting too. It's like, well, like, the Dudley Boys are like, always like the tag team favorites, but what better than, the average Hardy Boys, that it's the APA, the two rough guys instead of the two Team Extreme guys as well, so like the two ruffians get the belts here too. So a little surprise there, and like I said, Spike Dudley got his revenge. If they broke his leg, he hits Bubba with the crutch. So it's good on Spike. And, the APA deserved tag team titles.
Yeah, is it their first title win?
No, it is not. I believe it's
No.
like I think it's only their second. I think this like their second time too. Because I remember when they beat the Hardys back in 1999 to win. And I think this is like their second title reign.
Okay,
Believe it or
good.
not, yeah. So I think it was good for them to get a good for them to get the tag belts again. So now we are backstage, and Vince and Austin recap what Shane McMahon has done tonight. Kurt comes in with presents. So here we have shenanigans part 1 here.
Of many shenanigans throughout the night.
Yeah. So Stone Cold last week on SmackDown gave cowboy hats, and he gives Kurt the kitty one, which Kurt is still wearing. In return, Kurt Angle gives Austin and Vince sheriff badges. And
Little
to top
tiny
it all
dinky
off,
ass ones.
yeah. To top it all off, Kurt gives himself a big gold badge. Like, I'm the leader and I'm the head sheriff in town. Austin reminds.
And he doesn't give Deborah anything.
No, yeah. He's like, no, I didn't give her anything. It's like, oh, I didn't give her anything either.
He said, you didn't give my wife anything?
Austin, yeah, that was like so funny too. Austin reminds Kurt that he got his ass handed to him by Booker T. And then he convinces Kurt to challenge Booker T for the world title, for the WCW Heavyweight Championship. So, Kurt's going to go take his anger out on Booker T. And, I think Austin's doing a great job on trying to pump Kurt Angle up for this invasion as well, because they both need it.
Man, this was shenanigans for sure. Like, I was howling with laughter at Austin here. I think that for as much as a badass as he is, like, he's so fucking funny. Like, I never think of him as funny, but I definitely will now, because he kept cracking me up the way he kept repeating Vince, everything that he would say. He would repeat the last word. It was so annoying. It was so funny the way that he delivered that. Giving them the badges and the looks on their face was so great. And Deborah just sitting there watching everything like, what is happening? And Angle, I thought, was so funny too. Angle's like perfect at doing this. And wearing that stupid little hat really popped me.
Yeah. So now we have Kane arrives backstage, and he doesn't know yet that Undertaker and Sarah are at the hospital. But now we go to Rhino versus Albert for the Intercontinental Championship. I have to say, Jane, this is a very good matchup too. Albert has come a long way from being the guy with as like Droz' sidekick, basically, with like all the piercings, TNA. But here, like, Albert is a machine, and then you have the Man Beast. You have Rhino too. So, two great athletes going at. I've seen Albert go against Kane, and those matches were great as well. When Kane was the Intercontinental Champion, Albert was chasing him for the title. Punches by both men. Rhino goes to work on Albert. Super kick to Rhino by X-Pac. Yeah, X-Pac is in Albert's corner, by the way, for X-Factor. Albert slams Rhino into the ropes. Spinebuster to Albert. A back suplex by Rhino. A big splash off the top rope for a 2 count. Albert counters a Gore. Then Rhino counters a Baldo bomb. So they're both countering their finishing moves. And then out of nowhere, Gore to X-Pac, but then that distracts Rhino for Albert to give the scissors kick to Rhino, and he secures the win. For this matchup, Jenny, I went 2 1/4 again because I thought this was a powerhouse matchup between, not someone like the Man Beast. Rhino is small, but he's just a tough SOB. He takes no prisoner too. And again, another good performance by Rhino and Albert.
I kind of enjoyed it too. Basically a squash, but kind of a hard ass one. Like it had a real edge to it. With X-Pac there, kind of adds a little something to it. He gets involved, but he gets one good kick in, but then he takes a Gore for his trouble, so he shouldn't have fucked around with Rhino. I'm like you. I like Rhino, so I'm kind of a mark for his Gore. So I did the 2 stars.
Nice, yeah. So we're off to a good start here on this Monday Night Raw, and it's
we are
keep on rolling. Booker T is seen working out.
Oh boy!
And Kurt comes into his locker room, and they introduce each other because Booker's like, "Whoa, man, I didn't even get to introduce myself." So Kurt goes, "Hi, I'm Kurt Angle. I'm an Olympic gold medalist," and then he's like, "Booker T, WCW champion." And so they introduce each other.
So awkward.
And then Kurt just up front challenges Booker T to a match for the WCW title. I forget what he says, but it's it ends with mother effer, basically.
Yeah, he says, yippee-ki-yay, mother father.
Yeah. Yeah, so so we'll see tonight. It's going to be Kurt Angle versus Booker T. You better put down the sheriff's badge and go all out against Booker T here.
Is it that easy to get a match? You just storm into the locker room and go, "I'm Kurt Angle, and I won some medals, and I want a match tonight." And Booker T's like, "All right."
To Booker T, that's like saying, "Oh, you got guts, man," So I think Booker T likes a little bit of backbone in people. So you just walk up to him and be like, "Yo, I want a match. Let's go right now." He'll give it to you.
All right. Well, I guess that's one way to do it.
Yeah. So Kane comes in and he says that he wants Storm and Awesome tonight because it was going to be The Undertaker versus Lance Storm and Mike Awesome. But then Sarah gets attacked, so she goes to the hospital. So when one brother of destruction leaves, the other one takes his place. So it's going to be Kane now versus Lance Storm and Mike Awesome.
Oh, well, thank God Sarah's okay, I really like how Tajiri is cowering behind the arm, the little, what's it called? The little coat of arms.
It's like the little knight. Yeah.
The
knight.
Like
the knight sarning armor.
Yeah.
Yep.
The little statue or whatever he has back there. I butchered it. But anyway, it's really funny the way that he's cowering back there.
Yep. And now we have another matchup here. We have Jeff Hardy versus The Big Show. This is stemming from a week ago it seems from 2 weeks ago when The Big Show was trying to get Trish Stratus's attention. And they had a tag team match. It was Trish and The Big Show versus Lita and Matt Hardy. And then Big Show just blamed everything on Trish, like it's all her fault. Then Jeff Hardy comes and saves her. So Jeff and Trish trying to start something with Jeff Hardy. And we all know that Lita does not like Trish at all. So
right.
It's chaotic.
So she comes out here to cause a bunch of trouble for everybody.
Yeah, basically. So, like I said, we have Jeff Hardy versus The Big Show. Huge clothesline to Jeff. Big Show tosses Jeff to the outside. Big Show then runs into the ring post. A missile drop kick by Jeff. And then basically the alley-oop, I call it, because it's like a flapjack. He calls it the alley-oop to Jeff Hardy for the win. For this one, Jenny, I went a star. star because like this is basically a basic squash match, and for more like story filler, like Jeff Hardy really did not have like a really good chance against the Big Show here.
No, he didn't, but I bumped it up to a star and a quarter for Trish and her actions post match where she makes out with Jeff Hardy in the ring and then just walks away. And he's like, "What the fuck was that?" So that was pretty cool.
Yep, Vince. Yeah. So Trish kisses Jeff, and then we go backstage now. Vince is telling Kurt he has to beat Booker T. Like he's just like, I want you to beat Booker T. And then Austin out of nowhere goes, Vince, I want to leave the WWF. I think I can do it. So I want to leave that Invasion. But then Kurt thinks that he should leave the WWF into Invasion. And then Vince then says that Undertaker is going to join Team WWF. So far it's like Undertaker, Stone Cold, and Kurt Angle, and then Chris Jericho comes in and he wants to join Team WWF. Austin and Kurt both say no because they don't like how Chris Jericho treated them. Yeah, so we have like a whole father look at me, I want your attention segment right there.
It's so funny because Angle is like doing stretches in front of Austin and he's like bent over with his butt in his face. He's just like shaking his ass right in front of Austin's face. But yeah, like him and Austin, Angle, and Vince together is just comedy gold. Like that stuff made me so laugh. It was so funny. Just the look on Austin's face. Like he's a comedic genius and so is Angle.
Yeah. So then we go to WWF New York, and it's Lita and Matt Hardy are in WWF New York. Jenny, did you ever get a chance to visit WWF New York?
No, but I definitely would have if I knew what it was at the time. Did you get it? Did you ever go?
Yes, I got to. It might have been like one of the last of like the 3 weeks that it was open. I went on a Sunday with my family, and then we went to go see The Lion King. So I got an all-star.
How was it?
I got an all-star. Oh yeah, it was great. It was a really good experience. They were playing like all the Titantrons on the screens and everything, and it was really, really cool. And then we went to The Lion King.
Did you get to make out with Lita like Matt did?
No, I did not. She was not there that day, sadly. Yeah,
Did you get to see anybody cool?
No, there wasn't anyone there. It was like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, so no. Lita does not trust Trish, but instead of Lita telling us that, Matt Hardy just goes on like a ramble and is like, "Oh, Trish, you gotta follow what Lita says and does." And I did not like this from Matt Hardy. It's like, well, why don't you let Lita talk then? Like, why are you talking for your girl?
Right.
Yeah, this is like a bad Matt Hardy segment. Like, like he's not.
Yeah,
really,
he besides making out with Lita, he looks dumb.
Yeah. Like, you're standing up for your girlfriend? Why? I mean, Lita can talk, bro. She can talk for you. So, like, they start making out. And then Shane is pumping up Booker T for his match with Kurt Angle. And then Kurt is still getting pumped up by Vince McMahon. So, again, all bets are off here.
This is so funny the way that it's done. Like, Shane and Vince being basically the same person. And hyping up their champs, just so good. All of this stuff was like really well done.
Yep. So now we have Kurt Angle versus Booker T for the WCW title. Booker goes after Kurt. Huge clothesline to the outside by Kurt. Booker goes into the table. Shane throws Kurt into the steps, and Nick Patrick does not call for a disqualification. So
he's a fucking asshole, and I hate him.
Yeah, he's playing the heel referee role again.
Because he's an asshole.
Missile dropkick by Booker T. Double cross body to both men. Booker bounces Kurt off the guardrail and steps, and the steps. A back suplex by Kurt. A belly to belly by Kurt. Angle slam is countered into a scissors kick by Booker T. Spine buster to Kurt. An ankle lock to Booker, but then Shane distracts Nick Patrick from Booker T tapping. And then an angle slam to Booker T as Nick Patrick goes down. Earl Hebner tries to count but gets pulled out by Nick Patrick. Earl Hebner then spears Nick Patrick, and then Booker T hits Kurt Angle with the WCW title. While the referees are all brawling, Charles Robinson, another WCW official, counts the 3 for Booker T. For this matchup, Jenny, I went 3 stars. I thought it was really good wrestling between the two. I mean, the finish was kind of shady, but it was paying off 2 storylines as the referees are brawling, and that Booker T got one off on Shane McMahon. On Kurt Angle. So I went 3 stars.
You know what? I went 3.5 stars because I thought it was really good too. It was grinding at bits, and they had really good punches, great selling, and impactful power moves. Booker T looked fucking great. Like, he looked like champ. Like, to me, this is the champ, and I'm buying it every minute during this match. I bought it. I thought Angle was really doing a great job bumping around for him. And I really didn't mind the ref fight because Nick Patrick was the one who got his ass beat. So I was kind of into that. The kind of him tapping out, that looks kind of bitchy, but it's totally fine. He got it back when he smashed him with that chair. So, or with the belt, not with the chair, with the belt.
Yeah.
And yeah, I liked it a lot too. Really, really fun match, just randomly in the middle of the show.
And then we go backstage again. Kurt is wondering why Vince and Austin weren't out there. And I was like, well, you told them you had it, and you
yeah. He's like, I didn't need it. I didn't need you guys.
So it's like, alrighty, well, we didn't come out because he told us not to. And Kurt's like, yeah, whatever. You guys should have still came out.
Yeah,
now
funny.
Yeah, now we have Scott Hudson. He's interviewing Tori and Stacy. Stacy says they're more attractive than Trish and Lita are. Yeah. And then how would you put these 4 in order?
I was going to ask you that.
Yeah, no, I feel like,
okay, I got to go Lita on the bottom.
Yeah, I feel like me too.
I gotta go Stacy number 3. Trish 2, Tori 1.
Flipping it. Trish is 1.
Yeah, I felt weird saying it.
Stacy is 2. Tori is 3, and then Lita is 4. Lita's on the bottom,
Yeah. All right, well, glad we got that out of the way. That was very...
So that happened. Yep. Yeah. So then...
They're the ones that said that they were hotter, so I feel like it's okay to rank them according to hotness because they're the ones that said it. No, we're not just bringing up their hotness; they brought up their hotness.
Yeah, no, it's perfectly okay to bring up which divas are attracted more. Then we have the APA. The APA, they give the Dudleys a rematch and they invite them out for beer, but the Dudley Boys are like, no, we don't want to. Why don't you ask us again at the end of the night? Yeah, they were like, nope, no thank you. And then we have Kane versus Lance Storm and Mike Awesome, but Chris Jericho comes out and he wants to be Kane's tag team partner. So now it's a tag team match. It is Kane and Chris Jericho versus Lance Storm and Mike Awesome. Jericho and Kane beat up Storm and Awesome. A scoop slam to Awesome. elbow off the top rope to from Jericho by Mike Awesome, and then a bulldog to Storm. Double team moves by Storm and Awesome. Then we have Storm. Storm gets his knees up for the lion salts. A belly to belly suplex to Jericho. Tag to Mike Awesome. Big boot by Kane. A power slam to Awesome. A flying clothesline and a missile dropkick to Storm. The walls of Jericho.
Mm-hmm.
Jericho and choke slam to Awesome. And then out of nowhere, Tommy Dreamer and Rob Van Dam come to the ring to beat up Kane and Y2J. Then we have Raven, Taz, Just Incredible, Rhino, and the Dudley Boys. Also, Taz comes out. And they all look like they're going to beat up Rob Van Dam and Tommy Dreamer, but it's another swerve.
Another swerve, bro.
As those 6 guys turn on Kane and Jericho, and they start beating them up with RVD and Tommy Dreamer. And then Rob Van Dam gives a Van Daminator to Kane, and it's like the Tommy driver goes to Chris Jericho. Then Jim Ross wants to know what's going on, and Paul Heyman leaves the announcer's table and gets on a mic. So Paul Heyman starts talking. He says he sold out and traded ownership of ECW for Jerry Lawler's commentary position with the fat pig Jim Ross. That is exactly his words. Everyone has forgotten about the Tribe of Extreme. Paul Heyman says he created an ECW tribe and says this invasion has just been taken to the extreme. Your thoughts, Jenny?
Holy shit balls. I was not prepared for all of that. That was awesome. I was so excited when Tommy and RVD ran out. I was like, cool. I love seeing ECW guys, you know. And then all the other ECW guys start coming out like, wait, what? And then Paul gets in the ring like, wait, what? So I was so excited. And look, I know these guys from my journey through, you know, the land of extreme on Extreme Three-Way Dance, our podcast where we talk about this. So I love these guys, and I can't believe they swerved us again, Gruney.
Nope, yeah. So it's been just swerve after swerve here. And so Paul Heyman leaves the commentary with the ECW. I'm going to call them ECW rebels too, you know, because they're rebels without a cause, and they're just here to cause trouble too. So Jim Ross is now alone on commentary. Vince and Shane confront each other backstage, and Shane says that he and Vince need to work together versus ECW. And so it's like, you lost 6 of your guys, I lost 2 of my guys. I can't afford to lose anybody. Like, let's make it a 20-man tag team match. 5 WWF and 5 WCW guys versus the 10 ECW guys in a main event match for one night only. They argue who will lead the troops. So, yeah, it looks like Shane's trying to get his dad to go be a part with Shane McMahon here tonight.
I can't believe this, man. Like, don't they hate each other right now? Like, of course, this is kind of sus too, because we've just seen 2 swerves that happened. So they go, surely we're not gonna have any other complicated story plots happen here. So it makes me nervous, Gruney.
Yeah, it does. How do you say, yeah, like, let's team up, you know? We've been at each other's throats, and I hate you, you hate me, but we're going to team up for one night only because there's a bigger threat to us now.
Like, but it automatically kind of elevates the stature of the ECW guys, I think, since Shane paints them in that light, you know, like, these guys are going to take us all out because they're extreme and they're awesome. So that puts them over even more.
Yeah, this basically happened because the WCW experiment failed, and it's like we
Right.
need some sort of ECW hope, is Van
Well,
Dam
why
ready
not?
and is Tommy ready? It's like yeah, sure, no, yeah, but they wasn't on the menu until it was like we need this now, we need
Mm-hmm.
something. So now we have, after all this hoopla, we have Scotty 2 Hotty versus
Oh, God.
X-Pac for the light heavyweight title. A hip toss by Scotty. X-Pac comes down from behind on Scotty, like he just jumps off the rope and lands on Scotty. X-Pac misses a Bronco Buster, a kick to the face by Scotty. Scotty then counters an X-Factor, but then Scotty goes for the worm, and then X-Pac pins Scotty using the ropes. This match, I went a star, basically. It's like, X-Pac is good, but the fans hate him, and I'm not buying Scotty 2 Hotty just yet.
I did the exact same thing, 1 star. It's short, it's unnecessary, and it's fine. Don't worry about it. Moving on.
Now we have Shane and Vince. They're backstage. They're rallying all the troops to fight ECW, but can't decide who will lead. Shane says he's going to take responsibility for what happens out there tonight. And Vince's like, fine, it's on your shoulders. Whatever happens, happens. He said, oh, okay, okie dokie.
I'll write about it,
Basically.
babe.
Yep. And, even the troops are like, you follow us. No, you follow us.
Mm-hmm.
And so now we finally get this 20-man tag. 5 guys from WCW and 5 guys from WWF versus the 10 ECW guys. I believe it is Sean O'Hare, Chuck Palumbo, Hugh Morris, Chavo Guerrero Jr., and Canyon. Yeah, that's who it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Those 5 guys, and they're teaming up with Bradshaw, Farouk, Billy Gunn, the Big Show, and Hardcore Holly, I believe. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
So they're all arguing, and once they get into the ring, they're all arguing that, oh, we're in charge and we're in charge. So then now all of a sudden the WWF guys are brawling with the WCW guys, and it's like, we're on the same page. What are you guys doing? So the WCW guys get thrown out of the ring, and then the ECW guys come from the crowd, and Jim Ross like, oh, what is Heyman doing? Look at him. So look at Heyman. He's an idiot. Look at Taz. What's going through his head?
Yeah.
They come to the ring, and it's like 10 on 5. So the WWF guys are outmatched by 5 guys. They get their butts handed to them. And then the WCW guys come back in, and it looks like they're going to fight each other. But then another swerve, bro.
Oh, my God. Not another one.
The WCW and ECW guys start giving each other high fives and hugging, and Shane and Paul Heyman hug. Vince is like, what's going on? And once again, Shane McMahon has outsmarted his dad, and he said, I can't match your checkbook, but I can outsmart you. Oh, and I got one more surprise for you. This was a bombshell because she hasn't been seen since she was in the hospital with Triple H. The new owner of ECW, Stephanie McMahon-Helmsley.
Hot damn.
Daddy's baby girl.
Man, Vince's face. It was awesome.
Daddy's baby girl has grown up and bought ECW.
What'd you think of this?
Again, it was like, what? They're high-fiving each other? I thought they hated each other. But nope. They're all together, and now it's like a coalition team of ECW and WCW guys. Poor Vince, the egg was on him again, as his own daughter now has turned his back on him. So now the whole dynamic of, well, it was Vince versus his wife has become now Vince and his kids. Because I thought that Linda was going to be like, Shane's financial backer in the initial plans. Like, it looked like it was going that direction, but now it's like the kids versus the grown-ups here.
It is. I like it. I think it's fun. I think Stephanie looks amazing, and I'm excited to see her going forward in your show here when she gets in her ECW era.
They couldn't say that Paul Heyman bought ECW again because the bank would have like the bank and like everyone would be like, wait a second, how can he own ECW? He just filed into bankruptcy.
Yeah, nobody's giving him any money.
So nobody's gonna let him own a company again. So I guess the idea was for Stephanie McMahon to get the keys to ECW here. So that was a fun Raw, Jenny. Very surprising, too. Yep.
It was. I thought is this like an all-timer? Because I thought it had some really fucking hilarious moments and some iconic moments.
It feels like it's on the top 10 for me. Like if we're going number one Raw, you can always put the Shane McMahon buying WCW before WrestleMania 17 up there. The March 26, 2001 Raw is my number one. It is like the moment of like all moments right there. And then this one is like, I would say like I want to say it's like number 5. I feel like there are
that's
other
way
moments.
up there. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like number 5 for me.
So that's awesome. I'm glad I got to watch it and talk about it with you.
Yep. But we're not done yet, Jenny. We got
more.
We have SmackDown here from Birmingham, Alabama.
Oh.
Were you living in Alabama in 2001 or were you in Florida?
Yeah, I was living in what time was this? Yeah, so I was living at home.
Alabama.
Yep, in Alabama.
Did you ever go to the Jefferson Civic Center?
In Birmingham?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been there.
Okay, yep, because that's where SmackDown is tonight. They're in Birmingham, Alabama. It's the Jefferson Civic Center. You did not go to the SmackDown, did you?
No, I didn't go to SmackDown.
So we have a recap of Raw, the whole bang bang, First it was ECW, and now it's the Alliance Coalition. They don't call it the Alliance yet, Jenny, but they call it the WCW ECW Coalition.
Coalition, of course.
Yeah. Vince gives Taker a tag match tonight versus Shane and Diamond Dallas Page. In exchange that Undertaker will be on Team WWF. So he's like, yeah, I'll be on Team WWF. Just give me DDP and give me Shane McMahon tonight.
Everybody has to be a team. It's too many teams. It's too many factions. The NWO ruined us for teams.
Yep, but also D-Generation X too. But
yeah,
there were
too.
way too many people in the NWO. So
True.
here's my first problem with this show, Jenny. I don't know how you like it. I hate when they do Michael Cole and Jim Ross together.
Oh yeah, they suck.
I hate it. It's like you couldn't get Kevin Kelly in there to like with Michael Cole. I'm Michael Cole and alongside Kevin Kelly here tonight, I hate when the two frontmen are put together, Like, I just hate it.
Me too, yeah. Fuck that.
Like, Michael Cole just repeats everything that Jim Ross says. It's like Jim Ross says it, and then 5 minutes later, he'll say the exact same thing. It's like, Mike, what are you doing, bro? I just said this. So.
I wish we could just mute him, right?
Yeah.
Just mute him.
Yeah. Usually it's Taz, but he's in the ECW camp.
Yeah,
so
he said, fuck y'all.
Yeah. Shane comes to the ring with the WCW stars. Shane says WCW will show its dominance tonight and will show its dominance in that Invasion. Said no one saw WCW and ECW joining forces. So he's really pumped up about that. And then Stephanie and Paul, and the ECW guys come to the ring. Paul says Vince and the WWF stole ECW concepts, attitude, rosters, and their television channel from them. Because if you remember, TNN threw ECW off the air for WWF Raw. Then again, he says, I had to sit for 3 months with that fat pig over there on commentary. It was all me planning this ECW, WCW alliance coalition. It's like, it all came from you, Paul? Really? It's like, yep, it was all me. I don't know how he came up with that.
Because he's a genius.
Yep. He is a genius. He convinced both McMahon children to buy WCW and ECW. Paul says Vince will lose everything. Stephanie then takes the mic, and instead of she says, Paul, you can just call me boss for now on.
I loved her in this. This was so fucking great.
Stephanie says it's all about power, says they're better than Vince, and that WCW and ECW will run the WWF out of business, and that they wanted to take over because Shane and I just couldn't wait for you to die. That line, that phrase, Jenny, would be on like almost like the Invasion and the Survivor Series pay-per-view as like a rememberable quote of what Steph said. They would be used in promos for the shows.
Because it's a hell of a quote. She was on fire in that promo.
Yep, it was a hell of a quote. And now we have them, so they all end up going to the bag. Now we have Regal and Tajiri going to ECW and gives them a reward. Tajiri says, I want to commentate. So he sends Tajiri down to commentate with Jim Ross and Michael Cole. Vince and Steve Austin are in Vince's office. Austin says Vince still has him, like even though he doesn't have his kids anymore and that everything's against the wall. Austin says that, you still have me and I have a way to solve all your problems, Vince. And Vince's like, you do? What can you do to help me?
Mm-hmm.
So now Tajiri is on commentary as we have Taz versus Hardcore Holly. Again, another stiff matchup here, but I'll break this one down. Hardcore goes to work on Taz. A low blow kick to Taz. Scoop slam by Hardcore. And then Taz mission for the win. While they are two tough guys, we don't really see a lot of Taz here. Like, he gets his butt handed to him and then just gets the Taz mission on it. For this matchup, Jenny, I want a star. Like, it was all right, but nothing too fancy from Taz. Just a submission win after Hardcore beats him up all the way through.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of these Taz matches like this. So this is a standard 1-star Taz match.
Mm-hmm. Then Taz gives a Taz mission to Jerry for not joining ECW.
That was random.
Paranoid. Yep, he's paranoid, but he remembers that Jerry wasn't out there when ECW and WCW formed. Mm-hmm. Jerry's still WWF loyal with Commissioner Regal here. Now we're backstage again. This is like the show of backstage moments.
It really is, yeah. There's a lot of.
But we're gonna get there's a lot of backstage in 2001.
Yeah.
All the fun stuff.
Why not? It's so great.
Austin brings Vince a guitar, says violence is not the answer. Austin says music is the answer. Austin then starts saying, Kumbaya, my lord. Kumbaya. And Vince is like, what are you doing? Like, WCW and ECW are coming in. You're singing songs, but doesn't actually say that. He just takes it all in. Then we have
That was so funny.
Yeah.
I love him singing that because he made such a big deal out of it. And it seems like he's on the verge of busting out laughing the whole time.
Yeah, no. And Vince is like gonna have a mental breakdown. It's like, get it
Yeah.
together.
I don't know how Vince keeps a straight face doing that shit.
No. Now we have Lance Storm versus Chris Jericho. Jericho tells Lance Storm he reminds him of a movie character called Forrest Gump. And he tells Forrest Gump to shut the hell up.
How you feel about that, Gruney?
You can't tell Lance Storm he looks like Forrest Gump and tell him to shut up. He's a serious man.
He is a serious man.
Yeah, like
you.
what's wrong being serious? Yes, I am a very serious person.
You are.
Flying forearm by Jericho. Clothesline off the top rope by Storm. Half Boston Crab to Jericho, but he reaches the ropes. Arm drag off the top turnbuckle by Jericho. Bulldog to Lance Storm. Storm counters the Lion Salt again. Jericho counters the Boston Crab to the walls of Jericho for the tap out. So for this match, I'm going to star and a half. Like, we really don't see a lot of like offense from Lance Storm, but I still think that like these two did have a good matchup here. But I just think like we lacked the offense with Lance Storm, but a good showing by Jericho. So I'm going to star and a half, Jenny.
Oh, really? I did like 2 3/4 on this. I kind of really liked it.
Really? Yeah, I just didn't see. I'm sorry. Yeah,
I like them. I think that I like the way they work together, and there's a snappy quality to it. Like, it wasn't very long at all. I'm probably overrating it a bit, but it had the speed that I like in a short match, and Jericho's always fun. And Lance Storm can fucking go. So I'm enjoying him in ECW right now in our run. So I don't know. I thought it was really fun, and I like that Jericho wins.
Yeah, for me, I just didn't think that these like we didn't see a lot of offense from Lance, and that like I felt like the match was like too short, you know. But again, they were like, "Oh, we have to dominate WCW." It's like, well, if you dominate WCW, they're never going to show you what they can really do. So that's that. Austin is singing "Camptown Lady, sing the song, doo-dah, doo-dah," for Vince. And then in walks Kurt. Austin says Kurt can't play the guitar, and Kurt says, "Yeah, I can't hear. Give it to me." Then Kurt starts singing Jim Crackcorn, I don't care. Jim Crackcorn, I don't care. And then Vince McMahon leaves, and Austin's like, "Kurt!" He's like, "What?" Vince laughed because of you. It's all your fault. You suck at singing.
Oh man, that was so great. That I keep saying it, but all of this is so amazing because he's like, "You're jealous." Austin says Angle's jealous of his relationship with Vince, and then as he's jamming out, and then the camera pans out, and Vince is gone. Like, who you sing it to? Vince. Where is he? That was so funny.
Yeah. Then Trish Stratus and Jeff Hardy are backstage.
Oh, yeah, they are.
Lita and Matt walk in. Lita is okay with teaming with Trish at Invasion, but they still have heat with one another, and they need to take it out in the ring. So it's a one-on-one match with Trish and Lita here tonight. And then in the segment of all segments, Jenny, Mike Awesome goes to the upholstery lady and says, "I need you to make me new pants. I'm a hardcore champion. I need new pants. I want you to say awesome on the left side and awesome on the right side, because from whatever direction you're looking at me, I'm just awesome." Then you turn to Edge and Christian, who are like, "We're the only ones that reek of awesomeness." And Christian goes, on one side it should say Chumpstain, and on the other side it should say Dorkzilla. And Edge goes, "Yeah, he is so not awesome."
Dorkzilla. Who says such a thing?
In 2001, Dork was still a thing.
Was it? But not Dorkzilla, though.
No, not Dorkzilla, but just like the word dork was still kind of cool. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
that was good though. I liked it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Jenny. If you thought we were done with backstage segments, we are not. As
No, we are
Vince is
not.
now, like, I'm surprised you haven't hung up the phone yet.
We're
Vince is
almost
back.
done.
Vince is backstage with Team WWF. Says this is the biggest threat to the WWF, and he's going on, and Austin is just freaking like repeating everything as if he
Hmm.
wants Vince to notice that he's the favorite stepchild, basically.
Hmm.
Um, then they have to be united as one, or else they're going to fall. United as one, divided we fall. And then Vince, in a shocker of events, Vince then comes to the ring. Perhaps he finally has come to his senses that I don't need a singing, hugging Stone Cold Steve Austin anymore, which he does say.
Hmm.
He calls Stone Cold to the ring, says he doesn't need a singing, hugging Stone Cold. He needs the old Stone Cold. He needs the beer swilling, foul mouthed SOB, the hell raising Stone Cold. Vince McMahon wants Stone Cold to kick his ass, but Austin shakes his head no and then proceeds to leave the ring. Vince is trying to beg Austin to come back and give him a stunner, but Austin just leaves. I don't know what this was about. I don't know why Austin was scared to be the tough SOB again. This was so weird, Jenny.
Oh, I thought it was great.
No, it was great, but it was like weird. Like when you if you watched it like the first time, it's like, wait, he's
Mhm.
walking out? What?
Yeah, you thought he was gonna turn on Vince that easily? No, not this
Mm-hmm.
Stone Cold. I really liked that he resisted doing it because I felt, and he felt like he got his feelings hurt big time by Vince. And that sad little walk that he does at the end there when he walks away with his head hanging down. So it feels like he's lost his best friend.
Yeah. So then Austin leaves the arena with Deborah, and then Vince McMahon is going to find Stone Cold. But Kurt Angle's like, aren't you going to stay for my match? She's like, no, Kurt, I'm not going to
No,
stay for your match. I have to find Stone Cold. And he's like,
nobody
I'll be
cares
the
about your
leader.
match.
Yeah, and then Kurt's like, I'll be the leader. He doesn't need to be the leader. So Kurt is really just trying to think about himself and not Team WWF as a whole. But
Hmm.
oh, we're in chaos here. But finally, we have a match, Jenny, now.
Okay.
It's Kane versus Rhino.
Oh,
Kane,
great.
Kane starts off on Rhino. Huge clothesline by Kane. A scoop slam to Rhino. Rhino starts beating up Kane. An elbow to Rhino's face. Sidewalk slam to Rhino. Flying clothesline by Kane. The referee goes down. Rhino rolls up Kane, and then Nick Patrick fast counts for Rhino, and Rhino gets the win. For this matchup, I went a star and a quarter, Jenny.
Oh, okay. Well, I just want to star because it was kind of tedious and dumb, and my attention wandered quite a bit away from the match, and so it just felt like a basic kind of. And, I'm not going to say squash because the wrong guy won. So,
Yeah,
uh,
no.
fuck fest.
Yeah, but again, we're just building up all these matches here.
Right.
As we get closer to the Invasion pay-per-view, we have to build story because other than the main event, not really a whole lot of other matches have been announced here.
Yeah, you just need stuff like this on TV, I guess, to build to your show.
Yep, but we're getting there.
Hmm.
Tajiri is granted Taz at Invasion, as William Regal is like, I'm sorry that happened to you, but here's Taz for your match at Invasion. So we found
Yeah,
out
they're
to
really
be
working
Tajiri
hard
versus
on filling
Taz.
out that card.
No, yeah. But now Earl Hebner walks in and Regal tells him, how could you let this happen? And Earl's like, what do you want me to do? I want you to go in there, challenge Nick Patrick to a match of Invasion. So Earl Hebner literally leaves and he's going to find Nick Patrick. What a convincing way by Regal. You gotta go knock on the bloody door, knock it down, and then you challenge into a match.
Oh
Now we have
gosh.
Lita. Now we have Lita versus Trish Stratus. Lita shoves
Mm-hmm.
Trish. Trish slaps Lita. Trish hits Lita with the ropes, like bounces her off the ropes. A suplex to Lita. Bulldog to Lita. And then Lita gives Trish a twist of fate and moonsault for the win. I want a star here. Trish is still green. Lita has the
Yeah.
moves, but she doesn't have the opponent, basically. Trish is still green, so I want a star for the match. It's fine for what it is.
It is fine. I tend to overrate these women's matches like this. Like you said, Trish is pretty green, but I liked her fire in this, and I don't know. I think that they needed a little scrappy little match like this to go along with their little feud. So I did the 2 stars. It's a good enough
Okay.
match.
Yeah, no problem. So then, on the Titantron, we see the Hardy Boys backstage. They've been watching the match the whole time. Tori and Stacy introduce themselves to the Hardy Boys and kiss them. And then when they wonder what that was all about, Jeff goes, "Man, girls think we're hot.
Girls dig us, dude. Let's fuck them
Girls dig
all."
us." Yeah, I mean, dude, just ditch Lita, bro. I mean, you got all these girls jumping on us now. So I don't know what Jeff was thinking, but that was a funny line. Now we have Shane, Steph, and DDP. They're backstage getting ready for their tag team matchup. Then Earl Hebner goes into the WCW referee locker room and challenges Nick Patrick to a match at Invasion. Nick Patrick accepts, and the brawl ensues.
Okay, so now we have 7 matches that nobody cares about on this card. Great.
Yeah, pretty much. We have the main event. We have Nick Patrick versus Earl Hebner, Tajiri versus Kaz, the bra and panties matchup. That's all I have for now.
Yeah.
So it's like 4 matches.
And they all just got made just in the last fucking 5 minutes of the show. So,
Yep.
They are really kind of desperate.
So now we have Jeff Hardy versus Mike Awesome for the hardcore title on the line.
Mm-hmm.
This is where I have a problem, Jenny, because you had Mike Awesome hold the WCW title for 2 weeks and you did nothing with him. You could have given him Crash Holly and Spike Dudley in hardcore matches. I mean, at least with Spike Dudley, there would have been some ECW fire, but they don't do anything up until this point with Mike Awesome.
Well, you said 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, but I mean, if he's got the title, I'm just saying, he's holding on to your title. At least have him defend it and show his strength to the WWF audience. You're just letting him hold the title as a Christmas present, being like, "Oh, WCW has a title." So that's a problem.
I think they're about to solve that problem.
Oh yeah, and it was it's funny. But all this is about to change. It was going to be Rhino had a match with Test, and Rhino won, so he was going to face Mike Awesome for the hardcore title at Invasion. That was the original concept match, and boy, are things about to change, Jenny.
Yep. What do we got instead?
Oh yeah, we got this. Huge clothesline to Jeff, baseball slide to the trash can into Mike Awesome. Jeff gets hit by a trash can lid. Jeff goes into the steps. Hurricanrana and Whisper in the wind to Mike. Leg drop with a broomstick by Jeff. Awesome sends Jeff flying off the ladder. Mike misses a big dive, but gives Jeff a German suplex. Then, out of nowhere, because they're mad that someone else called themselves Awesome, Edge and Christian come in, and they give Mike Awesome a concerto, followed by a swanton bomb from Jeff Hardy to become the new hardcore champion. For this matchup, Jenny, I went 2 stars. It was a good hardcore match. Edge and Christian come in, they stand up for the WWF, and they cost Mike Awesome the hardcore champion. And now we have a new champ. It's Jeff Hardy.
Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, I gave it 2 stars, and I gave the match 2 stars, and Jeff Hardy deserves the hardcore title because like he's extreme, like your call team extreme, So this
Hmm.
is basically up Jeff Hardy's alley, He's not really a hardcore wrestler, but the word like if you're gonna call yourself like an extreme daredevil, you might as well get a title to go with it.
Do you think that this title should? Oh no. Well, I don't know. I guess Hardy does make sense here. That makes sense. He
Yeah,
is hardcore, like you said.
and but especially with the match that he has at Invasion,
Hmm.
as we get there. But again, like I said, I just thought that you could have fed opponents to Mike Awesome for like a
Hmm.
little while just to like prove that Mike Awesome's a big tough guy, and like is a WCW player with that hardcore title. But they didn't do anything with him, so it's kind of like story filter basically. So moving on, um, Jenny, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Sorry. I thought I lost you for a second.
No.
Moving on, we have the Undertaker. He tells Kane and Jericho to be ready and to keep an eye on anyone who tries to interfere in their matchup versus Shane DDP. And then Kurt's like, "Oh, well, I'm the leader now. Just do what he
Hmm.
says." Like he
Hmm.
basically just repeats everything that Undertaker says. It's like, "Thanks, Kurt. I got it though." And now we have on our main event Undertaker and Kurt Angle versus DDP and Shane McMahon. So as they're walking to the ring, DDP and Shane, DDP just backsteps and Shane just goes running into the wolves basically.
Yeah, basically.
Oh, what a move, bro! Like
Yeah,
you
I know.
dummy, yeah. Because you know that Paige does not want to go up against Undertaker.
Hell no. He avoids him
No,
the whole match.
yeah, punches in a belly to belly suplex to Shane. Taker wants DDP to tag Shane, but DDP backs off. Shane is getting a beatdown. DDP throws Kurt Angle into the steps, but then he runs away again from Taker. A spear to Kurt and a tag to DDP. A power bomb by DDP. Elbow jump to Kurt. Clothesline off the top rope by DDP. Kurt tags the Undertaker. A DDT by Undertaker and a choke slam. Taker gives Shane a last ride. Ankle lock by Kurt to DDP, but then all of a sudden ECW and WCW stars start to interfere. Undertaker out of nowhere dives over the top rope to take down all the WCW and ECW guys who are beating up Kurt. When I
Hmm.
saw this, I was like, "Oh my god!"
Me too. Me too. That
Wow.
shit was awesome. I don't think I've ever seen him do that shit before.
Yeah, and I think I did once during like the Inferno match. He jumped over the
Hmm.
fire and landed, which was awesome too. So then more WCW and ECW stars come out. Kane and Jericho come out and try and even up the score, but are outnumbered. A 3D to Kurt Angle by the Dudley Boys. A super kick to Jericho. A gore to Kane by Rhino, and then to add it all up, DDP gives a diamond cutter to The Undertaker.
Hmm.
And the WCW and ECW coalition are standing tall as Shane, Steph, and Paul Heyman are on top of the ring, are on the outside of the ring ropes, raising their hands and arms in triumph.
Holy shit. A lot happened in that match. What was your
Uh,
rating on that?
um, I give it a I'll go a star and I'll go a star and a half, Jenny,
Are
because
you
like
being
it was
serious?
no, I'll give it 2 stars, Jenny. I'll give it two.
Damn it. Okay.
No,
Go
because like
ahead.
Jenny, I mean, like it was a match, but like I'll give it two because like it was a good matchup, but then there's just it's just a bunch of run-ins basically. Like what made this match like fun was just like what made it good was just like the ECW and WCW guys like interfering and the dive, like it's like all the post match stuff was good. The match was all right. I mean, it was like two stars in my book. So you didn't really see a lot from DDP, and Shane's not really a wrestler, but we saw something from them. But again, it was like the post match scrum that like really brought the entertainment.
Shane's not really a wrestler, is what you just said. I would beg to differ right there.
What did you
I
give?
thought
What'd
Shane
you
was
give?
great. I
Yeah.
thought Shane was great bumping around for Taker in this because Taker's just trying to get at DDP most of the match. DDP just tries to avoid. I like this match for the story of all of that.
Mm-hmm.
It was interwoven really well in the match, and then with all the run-ins, that was just like icing on the cake. Like to me, it wasn't the point of the thing. Like Taker has a lot of bullshit to settle with DDP. So when he finally gets him in the ring, he really unloads on him, and he really earns that moment in the match. It's my way of thinking about it, because Taker really does fuck DDP up for a hot minute before all the bullshit happens. So, I did 3 stars on this.
Okay.
I thought it was a really fun main event, and I like the ending. I like Taker taking the huge dive. Did not expect to see that either. All the moves look really good. Like DDP power bombs the fuck out of Angle at one point. Just really, really stiff shit. So yeah, I like this one.
Maybe I am being a little too serious, as Lance Storm would say.
Perhaps a little too.
Yeah.
But, it's all,
it's wrestling.
everybody thinks what they think.
Yep, yeah.
No right or wrong
So,
answers.
Jenny, no, there are no right and wrong answers for wrestling. As we've met,
Thank God, right?
As we've seen before, Dave Meltzer gave a -3 to Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant at
That's
WrestleMania
right.
3. So there are wrong answers, but everyone has an opinion. But so Jenny, we're off the air here. Oh my gosh, Jenny, a lot is going on. WCW and ECW have formed together. Stone Cold has gone missing, and Vince McMahon, I think, is at like his breaking point of like severe depression. His top star is gone. His best friend is gone, and he's about to get his butt kicked. That invasion with no Stone Cold. I mean, what is the WWF going to do?
I don't know. They need the old Stone Cold to come back, I think. I think he's going to have to find it within himself to become the rattlesnake or whatever the fuck. Didn't they call him that? I don't know.
The rattlesnake. The
rattlesnake. Yeah.
The Texas rattlesnake.
See if he still has that in him. Because there ain't nobody else left out there to save us, is there?
Yep. So we'll see what happens as we get into the Go Home Raw and SmackDown for Invasion. But before we go, Jenny, do you have anything that you want to direct the listeners to?
Right here on the Place to Be Network, I have a couple of shows. They're called PTB NXT, going through the history of NXT with my friends Jacob and Tim. Also, I have a show called Talkin' WCW. If you like this show, you'll probably like that show. That is with my friend Tim and my friend Greg. And you can also find me on North-South Connection. I talked about the Extreme Three-Way Dance. I also do GC Dub, a game-changing podcast, going through like a little wrap-up show for the month, picking some matches and talking the results. That's the show I do with my friend Matt. And then on Wednesdays, you can catch any of the other stuff that I do. And on Twitter, you can find me at Jenny Position.
All righty. Well, thank you very much, Jenny. As for me, I always like listening to your content, that you provide on North-South Connection, whether it is from your Jenny Position library or it's also on Extreme Three-Way Dance or GC Dub. I love everything that you put out. I mean,
Oh,
you know what
thanks,
I mean,
Gruney.
like what you produce. Yeah, it's all in good fun. Yeah. As for me, Jenny, besides this one, I enjoyed also your watch the first ECW on Sci-Fi on JT
Yeah.
and Ryan's Excellent Adventure. That was fun. If you want to learn more about ECW on Sci-Fi, you can catch me hosting Extreme Resurrection on the Place to Be Network with Steve Riddle as we travel into 2007 ECW. We just got done with One Night Stand 2007, and we're on like a little bit of a choppy waters because we just got done with the draft where Bobby Lashley gets drafted to Raw and the ECW title is vacant. Chris Benoit is in ECW now, and we're on our way to Vengeance Night of Champions 2007. So we still need a new ECW champion, and we're looking to see what's going to happen there as we head to Vengeance 2007 as well. Well, that's going
All
to do
right.
it from us.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah. Well, that's going to do it from us here on Nation Invasion. I want to thank Jennifer Smith for being my guest here. Thank you for
Thank
coming
you,
on.
Gruney. Thank you. I
And
appreciate you having me on.
yep, and be prepared as we, the nation, bring the invasion. Thank you, folks.